Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in this video, we are going to understand how to add or update Zenler leads to Wix as contacts. So are you also using Zenler for your business? Then this video is definitely for you. So over here, I'm doing the same. I'm running a consultancy business and I'm selling the online courses with the help of Zenler. And now I wish that as soon as a new lead is received in my Zenler account, automatically a contact should be created in my Wix account with the same email. And if the contacts already exist with the same email, then that contact should be updated with a new tag. So I'm going to keep all of this contacts so that I can create targeted marketing campaigns for all the contacts and the leads received through my Zenler account. So now to do this, we are going to create a connection between Zenler and Wix. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also wish to learn this process step by step, then let me take you to my computer screen. Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video, we are going to learn how to add or update Zenler leads to Wix as contacts. So over here, I'm running a consulting business that offers online courses on Zenler and also has a Wix website showcasing my expertise and services. So now I want that when someone fill in this form, which is the lead form on my Zenler account, automatically a contact should be created in my Wix too. And if the contact already exists, automatically that contact should be updated with a new tag. I want to do this because with the help of this, I can easily manage my contacts and potentially target them in future marketing campaigns or promotions. So to do all of this, I've already opened the landing page of Pabbly simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we'll open the landing page of Pabbly, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you are going to get 100 of tasks free every month. But I'm an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in right over here. And now it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here, you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm going to click on access now right over here. And now it is opening my dashboard. And to start with the automation, we are going to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and I want to name my workflow as how to add or update Zenler leads to Wix as contacts. And then we are going to click on create. And now it is opening the most important window of our automation, that is our workflow window. This is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. By this, you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So now I'm going to select my trigger application which is Zenler because I want that as soon as a new lead is received in my Zenler account, automatically my workflow should be triggered. So I'm going to search for it and then we are going to select it. And now for the trigger event, we are going to select it as new lead. And then we are going to click on connect. And as you can see that it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your Zenler account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Click on add a new connection. And now it is asking me for the API key and the school/account. So to get this, you are going to read the help desk and it is saying enter your Zenler API key. You can get the API key from here. So where has the URL? So I'm going to copy this URL and then we are going to paste this URL in a new tab. And over here you can see that instead of school name, we are going to enter our school name. So over here in my case, it is Pabbly. So I'm going to enter Pabbly right over here. Then you have to keep in mind that you have to remove all the brackets from the school name also. And then after entering the school name, we are going to open this URL. And yes, you can see over here is my API key. So I'm going to copy this API key and then we are going to paste this API key in our workflow. And now it is asking me for the school or account. So I'm going to enter Pabbly here again because this is the school name. And then I'm going to click on save. You have to keep in mind that you have to enter your school name. And yes, you can see that we have successfully connected our Zenler account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now we are going to click on save and send test request. But before clicking on save and send test request, I'll let you know that Zenler is a pooling based application application, and it says that this trigger will check for new data in 8 hours. So polling based application means that this trigger will not check for new data instantly. It will take some amount of time to check for the new data. And over here in the case of Zenler, it will take 8 hours to check for new data. So now as soon as I'm going to click on save and send test request, Pabbly will capture the last response made in my Zenler account. So to do this, first I'm going to open my form, and over here we are going to first do the test submission. So for the first name, I'm going to keep it as demo user. Over here is the last name and the email as this. So now after entering all the details, I'm going to click on submit. And yes, you can see that we have successfully submitted this form. So now I'm going to open my workflow, and now we are going to click on save and send test request. And then Pabbly will capture the response we right now made in our form. And yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured the response. So I'm going to refresh this fields, and over here you can see response received. And as you can see over here, the same details that we entered. The first name, over here you can see the last name and the email. So yes, with this our trigger step is successful, but I'll just let you know over here it is saying that this trigger will check for new data in 8 hours. So if you wish to reduce or increase this time, we can go on this 3 dots and then set trigger time. And over here you can see that you can set the trigger time minimum to 90 minutes and maximum to 24 hours. So I'm going to keep it as 90 minutes, and then we are going to click on save. And yes, you can see that we have successfully added a new trigger time which is 90 minutes. So now we are going to move on for the action application. So for our action application, we are going to select it as Wix. So over here I wish that as soon as a new Zenler lead is created, automatically a contact should be created or updated in my Wix too. So that's why I selected the action application as Wix. And now for the action event, we are going to select it as get contact by email. So I'm going to search for it, and then we are going to select it. I selected this action event because I want to get the contact by the same email. I want to check that if the contact already exists or not. So now we are going to click on connect, and as you can see that it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So again, if you have already connected your Wix account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection and then connect with Wix. And now it is asking me for the app ID and app secret ID. So to get this, we are going to read the help desk, and it is saying enter the app ID and app secret ID from your Wix developers app. You can create your Wix developers app explained here. So I'm going to click on this hyperlink, and as you can see over here are all these steps to create a new app. So over here I've created already a new app. So first I'm going to open my Wix developers center. And over here you can see that I've created multiple apps. So I'm going to use one from this only. If you wish, you can create a new app from here. So I'm going to use this my app 4, and from here we are going to go on auth. And as you can see over here is the app ID and app secret keys. So I'm going to copy these, and then we are going to paste it in our workflow right over here. And now after pasting both of this, we are going to click on save. And over here you can see that it is asking me for some permission. So I'm going to click on agree and add because my data is secure with Pabbly. You can also click on the same because Pabbly is safe. And yes, you can see that as soon as I clicked on agree and add, it has already connected my Wix account with my Pabbly's workflow. Over here you can see connected, and now it is asking me for the contact email. So we are going to map the email. So mapping is a method by Pabbly, which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Zenler as our trigger application. So we are going to map these details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as I'm going to map this detail, automatically my detail will turn dynamic and change with every new lead received in my Zenler account. So I'm going to give you an example that over here in front of contact email, if I'm going to enter the email manually, suppose demo@pabblytunes.com. So this will not change with every new lead received because this is a static information and I've entered it manually. But if I'm going to map it from the previous response, it will definitely change because my previous response will also change. So that's why we do mapping right over here. So over here in the contact email, I'm going to search for email, and as you can see the email, so I'm going to map it. And now after mapping the email, now this means that as soon as a new lead is received, automatically this email will change, and then Wix will search for this same email in our contact section. And now we are going to click on save and send test request so that we can check that if the email already exists or not. And over here you can see that we have got the contact IDs. So this means that with the help of the same email, a contact already exists in my Wix account. So now we are going to add another action step to further continue the workflow. So I'm going to add the action application as router. So I'm going to search for it and then we are going to select it. So over here we are going to use router. It is a feature by Pabbly. So over here we use this because we want to create routes for our workflow. So now for the action event, we are going to select it as conditionally run and then we are going to click on connect. And as you can see that it has given me two routes. So over here I'm going to select the two routes. First I'm going to rename the routes. So for the route 1, I wish to add the contacts of already exist. So I'm going to enter already exist right over here. And then we are going to click on update. And then for the route 2, I want to add it as new contact. So I'm going to enter it. And then we are going to click on update. And now I wish that as soon as a contact ID is received in my Wix get contact by email, automatically this route should be followed, which is already exist, because this contact already exists and I just want to update it with the tag. But for the another route, I want that if the email is not found and the contact ID is not found, this means that we don't have a contact of that particular email in our Wix. So that's why we are going to use this route, which is new contact, so that we can create a new contact. So now I'm going to complete both of these routes one by one. So first I'm going to open already exist and go on see filter and action steps. And over here it is asking me for the filter. So over here I'm going to select the filter type as exist. And now over here in the label I'm going to select the contact ID, because I want that if the contact ID exists, then only this route should run. So I'm going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see success condition is true because we have the contact ID, that's why it is running. And now we are going to add another action step, because now I want that if the contact ID is already there, we want to update the contact. So I'm going to search for Wix again for the action application, and then for the action event we are going to select it as update contact. So I'm going to scroll and as you can see update contact, so we are going to select it and then we are going to click on connect. And as you can see again it is asking me for the same add a new connection or select the existing connection. So right now I've already connected my Wix account, so I'm going to click on select existing connection and then save. And yes, over here you can see that we have successfully connected our Wix account, and now it is asking me for the contact ID. So I'm going to map this contact ID from the Wix. Over here you can see contact ID, so I'm going to map it. And now it is asking me for the revision. So over here you can see that I've also received this revision, so I'm going to map this too. And now over here if you want to know more about revision, you can read the help desk. And now it is saying allow duplicate, so I'm going to keep it as false. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me for the first name and last name, so we are going to map this too. So I'm going to search for it and then we are going to map this too. So I'm going to enter it, and as you can see the same, so I'm going to map it. And now it is asking me for the line item email tagged, so I'm going to keep it as work. And now it is asking me for the line item email address, so we are going to map the email again. So I'm going to search for email, and as you can see the same, so we are going to map it. And now after entering these details, we are going to move on forward. As you can see that it is asking me for many details, so as you can see all of these details are not the required details, so I just filled in the required details and then we are going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see that we have successfully updated this contact with the new tag worked. So yes, with this this route is successful, and now we are going to move on to the another route, which is new contact. So I'm going to click on see filter and action steps, and over here we are going to add the filter of does not exist. And then for the label I'm going to again enter the contact ID, and then we are going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see error condition is false because we have the contact ID in our previous step. So yes, over here the condition is false. So now whenever there won't be a new contact, so that we won't have a new ID, then only this route will run. So I'm going to add another action step right over here. And again for my action application, I'm going to select Wix. I'm going to select it because I want to create a new contact if we don't have one. And now it is asking me for the action event. So we are going to select it as create contact, and then we are going to click on connect. And again, we are going to click on select existing connection and then save, because I've already connected my Wix account. And now it is asking me for the details, so I'm going to map it again. I'm going to search for name, and as you can see the first name, so I'm going to map it. We are going to do same for the last name also. I'm going to search for it and then we are going to map it too. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me for the line item email tagged, so I'm going to keep it as work. And now it is asking me for the email address, so we are going to map it too. And as you can see the email, so I'm going to map it. And over here you can see that again it is asking me for many details. So all of these details are not the required details, so I'm just going to fill in the required details, and then we are going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see that it is saying duplicate contact exists because I have already a contact with the same email address. So that's why the response is this. But if you don't have the contact with the same email, it will create a new contact. So yes, with this, our workflow is successful. I'll just open my Wix once, and over here we are going to open it. And then we are going to go on contacts once and check that if the contact has been updated with the tag that we entered or not. So I'm going to open my contacts page. And yes, over here you can see that we have updated this contact, which is demo user dem. Over here is the email address too. So yes, with this our workflow is successful, and I'll just summarize the workflow for you once. For a trigger application, we selected Zenler. For the trigger event, we selected new lead. For the action application, we selected Wix, and then for the action event, we selected get contact by email. Again, for the action application, we selected router, and then for the action event, we selected conditionally run, and then we created two routes right over here because I wanted that as soon as a new lead is received from my Zenler account, automatically we should search that if the same email address has a contact in our Wix account or not. And yes, if the contact is there in our Wix account, then this route should run, which is already exists. And over here you can see in this route we are going to update the contact. But with the same email address, if we don't have the contact, then this route should run, which is new contact. Now over here I'm going to open it, and as you can see that we have to create a contact if we don't have the contact. So yes, with this our workflow is successful. Over here I'm going to show you the contact that I updated. Over here you can see the same, which is demousn@pabblytudes.com. So if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly, you can integrate many more applications. So now, if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.